Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to see how one very small tweak that we made, not like a massive change in terms of like strategy, had some amazing results for this brand. 22% increase spent and 16% up in sales volume and around 20% in kind of revenue as well. Again, this is for a high spending account that's basically spending more than $500,000 a month on Meta. Even if you're just starting out, this is also very applicable. I just wanted to maybe break it down, one of the strategies that we've seen working very, very well at the moment. Now, just to talk about some numbers here, as you can see, last 30 days, basically, roughly, spend more than 600K in pounds, 23 cost per acquisition here. And then basically month to month, what we kind of seeing here is 22% increase in spend from like 500, which is big, obviously increase on that level. And we also saw 6% up in results. CPA slightly increased, but there are also some top of funnel campaigns here, which slightly skew results. But again, this is something that we also expect as we increase spend that aggressively. And again, we're gonna go exactly on what exactly we cannot change because this is a very, very small thing and it's actually quite interesting. Like two main different strategies here that we're into, but obviously there's a lot that go into scaling by 6 figures uh, increase month on month. But again, the main thing that was more tick was actually whitelisting. As you can see here on the screenshot on the screen, I'll put here. So we basically started getting more heavily involved from a kind of brand side into the kind of whitelisting process and getting some of the top performing creators from a UGC standpoint into getting some contracts out and allow us to basically run ads through their profile. Again, as you can see, it's basically the top ad now, and we have a lot more coming here. And whitelisting just does so well across the board, and it's not like a new hack. It's been forever, but now I think it's even more applicable. I know there are a few people actually talking about it, but it's a very strong strategy just because it's just speaking directly to the customer from a person, basically from a kind of personal profile, which again doesn't come out as like an ad that much, especially if the video is actually put together quite correctly about this. So whitelisting was the main thing that we kind of leverage here. If you want to maybe like go on to top level, but if you want to see the kind of full strategy, make sure you kind of watch the whole video because again, just whitelisting was the one part. How basically implemented was a whole other different level here. Now, again, whitelisting was the main thing. And the other thing that was very, very important is localized creative and expanding create campaigns for each region. Obviously, it's a UK brand, so we started expanding internationally into the rest of the world, but mainly around Europe. So we try to kind of unlock Germany, Austria, and a few other kind of countries, but that was the main ones. And we obviously first of what we did was actually launch a country testing campaign like that. So one campaign that we start every EU country, and we saw Germany. Obviously, this is like one of the main kind of countries that had a decent population, a lot of size, a lot of market, and we started to focus on. And then we get localized creative, which really supported the international expansion. So we get localized UGC creators, localized statics that really supported, scaling horizontally in the account and unlocking net new reach, which is the main focus from this account level. The other thing that I want to mention is creative volume, and I know I'm not going very like in sequence here, but I'm gonna put this everything together, so it's very important that you just follow along. So the other piece, to increase that heavily the spend, we need to have creative. And we have a lot of creative, and actually, we do like certain calculations on how we think the average win rate obviously as you scale is going to be decreased because obviously we're unlocking new kind of audiences. Um, but the thing here, the key thing is to increase the creative volume and do this in a systematic way that kind of supports the scale while also makes us efficient here. So very, very key thing here is we create volume, the whitelisting piece, and scaling horizontally by each new countries. And again, the other thing here is align promotion and the marketing calendar with paid. So we also on the BAU stuff like UK focused that we already have a lot of awareness. We want to leverage the summer seasonality. There's a product that has a lot of summer seasonality, but also any other promotions. There was some specific collaborations with like other brands. We needed to align promotions in paid that wasn't really happening before. So all this, as you can see, they tie together into basically lifting spend more than 100K per month, and most importantly, do this in an efficient way, and most importantly, set us for scaling further in the future months. It wasn't like a quick tactic, one ad and did well, and we're gonna scale it. There's a process behind everything. So how did we exactly went into and put this all together, especially the whitelisting and creative volume piece? We test on the creative testing ABO that allow us to control spend, control the angles, and control really the distribution of spend across all the ad sets. That really helped us accumulate a lot of learnings very fast. Same with the region-specific campaigns like the kind of German and Austria campaigns. Now that we started building more spend there, we're also going to have a localized creative testing campaign for that, because obviously it's a completely different market. So far, what we've done is basically moved everything that was winning in the UK into those countries. So creative testing ABO, we also do this the same with whitelisting, especially initially. And again, if we do have a lot of whitelisting, which we're trying to kind of do, and it kind of be around like 30 to 40% of the total spend volume, we're probably going to have a separate campaign for that. But for now, it keeps consolidated. On an asset level, we do test all those whitelisting and then promote into that core campaign. That really, really helped us. Again, we have the creative testing output. Again, this is also aligned with the marketing calendar. So there's another strategy there on the content that is allowing the promotions. And that also help with like 22% in spend and business revenue scaling. Even if you're spending sub 100K a month, super important that you focus on two main pillars. Probably scaling like countrywide and in other kind of regions is not going to be your strategy, because it's just going to be very early. You're not going to have the resources. I think at least spend more that 100 to 150K a month, and you're scaling like your store to around 7 figures plus into your key region, and then start horizontally scaling. And then you're going to really scale very hard. If you have the process down, focus on whitelisting, focus on increasing creative testing volume, focus on increasing creative diversity, and align promotions with the paid advertising and the marketing calendar. That's going to get from 100K to 2, 3, even 400K, and then you can mess around with like scaling in different regions and stuff. Obviously, you can receive it like slightly earlier, but I recommend sticking to that. That was a beautiful day. If you really enjoyed it, if you want more help, maybe you need me to audit your business, feel free to link below, fill out a couple questions, and we're gonna be in touch for you to hopefully scale your business. Thanks a lot for watching this. Appreciate the time, and likewise, and like as always, let me know if you have any questions.